Avatar Legends is teaching me that maybe a lack of a ranked mode might be better for fighting games. And the Kill Sage says, it is! Fighting games, in my opinion, were always meant to be played in long sets, and ranked is not that. Do we even need ranked mode in fighting games? There's something strange happening to me every single time that I play Avatar Legends. I sit down thinking, maybe I'll play a few matches, and then somehow an hour has passed. I'll look at the clock and realize I've been fighting the same person for what feels like forever. We'll play a set, we'll rematch, change characters, play again, and before I know it, I'm still sitting there playing Avatar Legends. And the weirdest part is, I'm actually having fun. Not competitive fighting game fun, not I need to climb the ladder fun, and not I need to prove that I'm better than this guy fun. Okay, maybe a little bit of that, but just fun. And that got me thinking about something that seems almost sacrilegious to question in modern fighting games. Do we actually need ranked mode? Now, obviously, I'm not saying that fighting games shouldn't have ranked mode. There are plenty of people who absolutely love it. For some players, ranked is the entire point of the game. They want the ladder, they want the divisions, they want the points, and they want to know exactly where they stand against everyone else. And I do understand that. But I've also noticed something about myself when I play fighting games. When I'm playing casual matchmaking, I can have an absolute blast. You know, I've experienced this with Mortal Kombat 11, Mortal Kombat 1, and Dragon Ball FighterZ and other fighting games. I can jump into a casual match against some random person, lose, laugh about what happened, rematch them, maybe beat them the next time, and then just keep playing. I don't even get particularly angry when I lose, but the moment ranked becomes the focus of the session, something changes. And I don't think that's necessarily because the gameplay itself changes, I change. Suddenly every match has a number attached to it, and that number starts following you around. Let's say I sit down to play ranked mode. I win 3 matches, maybe I gain 500 points. Great, but then I lose 3 matches and I've lost those 500 points. And suddenly I'm sitting there thinking to myself, well, that was pointless. I haven't actually lost anything meaningful. I haven't wasted money, I haven't lost progress in the game, I haven't damaged my save file, but psychologically, it feels like I've gone nowhere. It feels like a big waste of time. And then comes the dangerous thought. I need to get those points back. Now I'm no longer playing because I want to play. I'm playing because I have an unresolved debt. I lost points and I need to recover them. And what happens if I lose again? Now I've lost even more. So I keep playing, and suddenly I'm 3, 4, 5 matches deeper into a session that I'm no longer enjoying because I'm frustrated. I'm playing worse, I'm making stupid decisions, I'm getting angry at the opponent, at myself. And all because there's a little number sitting somewhere on the screen telling me that I'm currently less successful than I was 30 minutes ago. That's the part of ranked mode that I think we don't talk about enough. The points don't just measure your performance, they can change the way that you experience the game. And Avatar Legends has made me realize just how much I enjoy fighting games when that pressure is not there. Avatar feels different. One of the things that has surprised me most about Avatar Legends is how often I found myself playing long sets against people. And I'm talking about long sets, first to 10, sometimes even longer. And here's the thing, I basically never did this in Mortal Kombat, ever. I played plenty of Mortal Kombat Online, I played casual, I played Combat League, but sitting down with a random person and saying, let's play 10 games, that wasn't really part of my experience with Mortal Kombat. But in Avatar, I actually enjoy it, and I think there's a reason. When you're playing a long set, the objective is not necessarily I need to win, it's let's see what happens. You start adapting and your opponent figures something out, and then you figure something out. Maybe they beat you 3 times in a row, but then you adjust. Maybe you switch characters. Maybe you change your support. Maybe you realize that they're constantly trying to exploit the same opening, and suddenly the match becomes a conversation. Not a conversation with words, a conversation through gameplay. And because there isn't a giant ranked number hanging over every individual match, losing doesn't necessarily feel like you moved backward. It feels like information, and that distinction is enormous. Fighting games are already uniquely suited to making us care about winning. It's one person against another. There's no team to blame. There's no random teammate who fed the enemy. If you lose, you lost. That's part of what makes fighting games so satisfying. But it's also what makes them psychologically exhausting, and ranked mode amplifies that. A normal match can become win equals progress, loss equals regression. That sounds simple, but now imagine playing 10 matches. You win 5, but you lose 5 as well. Objectively, you had a perfectly even session, but if the ranking system takes away exactly what it gives you, you may walk away feeling like you accomplished absolutely nothing. And that is where I'm going to start questioning the design philosophy. Why does the game need to tell me that those 10 matches were worth nothing? Why can't the experience itself be the reward? This is where I think Avatar Legends has an opportunity. Instead of treating casual as simply ranked, but without points, why not make casual matchmaking its own ecosystem? Give people reasons to stay there. One of the easiest examples is something that players are already doing naturally: first to 10 sets. Why not make that an actual matchmaking option? First to 5, first to 10, first to 20 maybe, hell, first to 50, why not? If somebody wants to sit down and have a long rivalry with another player, let them. And yes, I know that players can already technically create long sets through the existing matchmaking and rematch systems. That's not really the point. The point is formalizing the experience. Give it a dedicated mode, its own matchmaking queue, give it its own rules. Make the game say, you're not here to climb a ladder, you're here to play a set. That changes the entire psychology of the experience. What if the reward was the set itself? And this could go even further. Imagine if Avatar Legends had a progression specifically built around these modes. Maybe you complete a first to 10 set and earn an achievement. Complete a first to 20, another achievement. Win a first to 10 against 3 different characters. Or win a set after losing the first 5 games. There are so many possibilities and none of them require a ranking number. You can create goals without creating anxiety. That's an important distinction. Because I think modern games sometimes confuse engagement with compulsion. If you give me a ranked ladder, you can absolutely make me play longer, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm having more fun. I might be playing because I want to recover the points I lost. That's engagement, but that's not necessarily enjoyment. A first to 10 system could encourage me to play for an entirely different reason. And what about offline players? That's another group that I think fighting games often overlook. People who simply don't want to play against other humans, and that is completely legitimate. Because not everybody enjoys online competition. Some people hate the pressure, some people have bad internet, some people don't want to deal with toxic players, some people simply enjoy fighting games as a single player experience. So why couldn't these extended set modes work against the CPU too? And suddenly, these modes become something that has value outside of competitive online play. That's especially important for a game like Avatar Legends because the franchise has an enormous audience that doesn't necessarily consist of hardcore fighting game players. Someone might buy this game because they love Aang, or Zuko, Toph, or Korra. They might not care whether they're silver, gold, whatever the ranking system eventually gets implemented. They just want to fight. But don't think that I'm throwing ranked mode under the bus. So this is where I want to be fair. I don't think ranked should disappear, obviously. There is a legitimate purpose for it. If you're serious about improving, ranked can be extremely useful. It gives you a measurable goal. It puts you against people who are also trying to win. It gives competitive players something to chase, and for the people who love that experience, taking ranked away would be a huge mistake. But I don't think ranked should automatically be considered the most important way to play a fighting game. That's where I think the genre has gotten a little bit of tunnel vision. We spent years building fighting games around the idea that the ultimate form of engagement is fight, earn points, lose points, climb, repeat. But fighting games have so much more potential than that. Think about why people remember fighting games. Sometimes it's because they reached a high rank, but sometimes it's because of that one ridiculous match that they had against that one really good player, that one comeback, that one person that they fought for an hour. That friend who always picks the same character, like me. That time somebody beat them 10 games in a row and then they finally figured them out. Those moments don't require a ranking system. In fact, sometimes the ranking system gets in the way of them, because when every match has a consequence attached to it, you're encouraged to think about the result instead of the experience. And that's what I found so refreshing about Avatar Legends so far. I've had matches where I've lost badly. Dude, I lost 10 times in a row against a Zahir player on Steam. Like, badly, and I didn't even care. I've had matches where I've been completely outplayed, and instead of thinking, great, I just lost a whole lot of points, I'm thinking, okay, how the hell do I beat this guy? That's a much healthier relationship with competition. You're still trying to win, you're still learning, you're still adapting, but you're not constantly checking the scoreboard of your own self-worth. The best fighting game might be the one that lets you play. And maybe that's the bigger lesson here. A fighting game doesn't necessarily need to constantly tell you why you should keep playing. Sometimes it just needs to make playing the game fun. Give me good matchmaking. Give me a good netcode, especially a good, fast rematch functionality like Avatar Legends has. And then just let me play. Avatar Legends already has the foundation for this kind of approach. Its online package includes casual and ranked play alongside lobbies, spectator functionality and replays, while the game also has a substantial offline component. Kind of. So as ranked mode arrives, I hope the developers don't fall into the trap of making ranked the centerpiece of the entire online experience, because I think Avatar has accidentally stumbled onto something pretty valuable here. People actually like playing this game, and that's more important than it sounds. Like, you ever heard of that? You ever seen that YouTuber Sikander555? Like, that dude does nothing but play Mortal Kombat, and he hates it. He hates it, and I completely understand why he hates it. So do we need ranked? I think the answer is some people do. But maybe fighting games don't need ranked to be the center of everything. Ranked should be one destination, not the entire journey. If you want to grind, great. If you want to compete, great. If you want to chase the highest possible ranking, go for it. But if you want to sit down with another person and play 10 games, 50 games, 100 games, there should be a place for that. If you want to play 50 games against the same person and slowly figure each other out, the game should encourage that. And if you don't want to play online at all, the game should still give you meaningful ways to enjoy the combat system. Because ultimately, I think that's what Avatar Legends has reminded me of. Fighting games are supposed to be about fighting, not numbers, not points, not ranks, and not ladders. Those things can enhance the experience, but they shouldn't become the experience. And maybe that's why I've been enjoying Avatar Legends so much. I don't sit down and think, how many points can I gain tonight? I sit down and think, I wonder who I'll fight. And then one match becomes 5, 5 becomes 10, 10 becomes 20, and suddenly I've been playing for an hour and a half. No rage quit, no obsession with recovering lost points, no feeling that I just wasted my entire evening because I ended up exactly where I started. Just fighting, just adapting, just playing. And honestly, maybe that's what fighting games should have been giving us all along. I'm SwitchPlayed, done.